Hey guys, how's it going today? Welcome back to the A2 Jack YouTube channel. Usually it's just me doing these videos, but I have someone with me today. Hey Izzy, how's it going? Yeah. So what we're going to be doing today is, you guys probably all saw my pre-election video I did about talking about the issues for the candidates. We're going to discuss a little bit about how these next 4 years is going to run now that we've got President Trump in office and all these props we got here that we voted on. So this will be great. So all right, so Donald Trump wins the presidency. He ended up at like 290 electoral votes or something like that.
289.
289, yeah. It's amazing. I don't think anybody saw that coming. On election day, they had Hillary at the lowest poll, at 85% chance to win. Why do you think it is that Trump won by such a decent margin? I know he lost the popular vote, but when it comes to the electoral college, why do you think it was he won by such a large margin?
To be honest, silent Trump voters. Silent Trump. When I first heard about it, I was like, okay, this makes sense. I didn't really think he would create that large of a turnout. Well, I was freaking wrong.
Yeah.
I did not expect he won every battleground state.
He did.
That's beyond ridiculous. That hasn't happened since
88.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was the first time he's turned Michigan, Wisconsin, those states red.
Wisconsin was my biggest surprise. I was like, he's not winning that.
Well, I think a lot of it is due to the fact that you have so many people who are voters that are pissed off about everything the country has had the last 8 years. They want
7 out of 10 Americans do not like the direction this country's going.
Yeah.
Everybody hates the establishment. So of course it made sense that Trump won, but no one was expecting it because how the polls were showing Hillary did.
And he won 7 out of 8 of the battleground states too. The only state he didn't win that was a battleground state was Nevada.
Yeah.
Every other one he won. That's
actually Nevada surprised me, to be honest. I was surprised. I was surprised he lost Nevada.
I was actually thinking pre-election that McMullen, that dude in Utah, the independent there, I thought he was actually going to maybe pull one out there, and he actually ended up getting, I think, second behind Trump overall.
He did really well.
Yeah. I was really hoping that one of them, that he was going to either pull off Utah or that Johnson would pull off his home state of New Mexico. It didn't happen, but I mean, definitely they threatened it in. But I mean, I think you're right. I mean, the establishment, people were just so pissed off at it and everything that's been going on. I mean, Hillary Clinton is probably literally the worst candidate they could have had run on the Democrat side ever.
There's no one to blame for Trump's presidency, whether you voted for him or not. It's the DNC. The fact that they couldn't, any other Democratic candidate would have won.
Yeah, no,
Bernie
if
Sanders,
they ran Bernie, he would have cleaned house.
And honestly, a lot of Democrats aren't Democratic socialists.
Yeah.
But Bernie Sanders to Donald Trump,
he would have taken, based off the fact that how many Republicans hate Trump, they would have taken people who are relative possible Trump voters and brought it into Bernie, even though he's completely probably against them.
Oh yeah,
that's the thing. But they ran him because they completely rigged the primary in favor of Hillary because they shut down in states like Arizona. They shut down something like 30 places to go out and vote in the primary. So what ended up happening is you had 3.5 hour lines. Nobody wanted to wait in those lines, so it was voter suppression.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I actually know about
that. Yeah. They shut down 20 to 30 places to go and vote in Arizona alone.
Well, I'm not even surprised. I can't even act surprised.
Yeah. It's amazing, like voter suppression, and then nobody in the base wants to rally behind her, and then you had so many people in the media that would basically just bully millennials into saying, hey, if you don't vote Hillary, your country's going to go to crap, and they didn't want to buy into that. No millennials don't want to buy into that.
Yeah, no, honestly, the media, liberals and Democrats were brilliant about 20 years ago when they took control of the media. That's the most brilliant political move I've ever seen in my entire life. Because if Republicans would have done that, then we would have had this complete shift in all of our elections. But the media dominates, especially for Democrats.
But Trump just took a hold of an America who was just pissed off at everything that was going on. But one thing that I find so funny is the trade deals thing. He's actually, like, if you look at him and Bernie Sanders aside on that issue, they're right in line.
Oh yeah, they're very similar.
It's actually a very liberal thing to go on, and so that's what brought a lot of people on the left over to vote for Trump, I think, as well. Is that issue alone? But that's the thing about Trump is now he's a giant question mark. We don't know what he's going to implement. Is he going to actually build the wall? And that's what I'll ask you next. What do you think President Trump is going to do these next 4 years? Do you truly think he is going to build the wall? Do you truly think he is going to vet Muslims more? What do you think President Trump is going to do?
Okay, so building the wall, I think the wall is a metaphor. I think he is going to make drastic immigration changes. I do believe that. But the wall, I think it's more of a metaphor, just because he is right about the bond holding over Mexico. It actually is a brilliant idea, but the odds of Mexican government going for it, which they have said they're not going for it. So I think he's going to do the extreme betting, to be honest, which personally I do agree with, because illegals are able to vote, and that's,
Yeah.
I don't believe that that's right. They are not citizens, so I think that
Well, you have
Trump
the
doing
stuff like the
immigration-
Dream Act as well and stuff like
Yeah.
that as well.
Is
Where
the,
they
Dream,
get,
is the Dream Act official now? Because I know it was in
yeah,
play.
no, it is about, they get tons of like money for education and stuff like that, basically free education, even though they're
Yeah.
illegal. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I do think Trump's going to actually tackle things and actually do make changes. Whether they're the right changes, I can't say. But I do think because he is so unknown, that I think he really is going to make changes that he thinks we need. Maybe they are the changes we need. There's just really no way to know.
How well of a team do you think he's going to have behind him when it comes to stuff like Attorney General, Secretary of State, cabinet members? Yeah.
Honestly, I think he's going to have one of the best dang cabinets we have seen in a very long time. Just because it's what he does. He's a businessman. He hires. I mean, look at his multi-billion-dollar business. How on earth could he have such a great business if he didn't pick the right people to run it? So I think the cabinet members are going to be a great choice.
Now, when it came to the House of Representatives, the House of Representatives and the Senate, the people voted in as well. Democrats were able to push that a little further, but they didn't do enough to gain a majority. So what that leaves is a Republican-held, basically three branches of government now, because they're probably Trump's probably going to nominate some conservative justices in the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, how do you think? Because this is the first time I think we've had since Reagan where we've had literally every branch of government under the same party. How do you think that the government's going to function under an entirely Republican government?
Well, okay, so personally I am Republican, so my first thought when I saw this was like, awesome. But then as I kind of started thinking about it, balance is key to everything. And Republicans have dominated Congress and Senate for maybe 2 years now, a year and a half.
Yeah, 2 years.
And really nothing's been done. Some people say it's because we had a liberal president, so it was really back and forth. But I don't know. I'm wondering if all the branches are the same party, if things will start moving and things will be more effective, or if that alone will cause more problems. So I don't know.
I truly think President Trump is actually going to be a lot more liberal than he seems.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
he's going to actually he might actually be a president to the point where he will actually turn the Republican Party actually more moderate than it is today. That would be remarkable. He might actually do that. That's what's going to be really interesting to see. Is you have a very, very conservative Congress, and you have a giant question mark as the president.
Yeah.
So that's what's going to be interesting. Before I go on to the talk, I must say, as you guys notice, we are in nature here. We are at Joyner Park. And as you can see, soccer's going on behind us. We just thought this would be a good place to go. It's very nice weather out. Of course, there's a ton of mosquitoes around us right now because it's November. But I gotta say, it's nice actually being outside for once instead of in the house. So I gotta say, it's really cool to be out here. And thank you for joining as well, Izzy, for the video.
Yeah, of course.
So let me go ahead now and go on to some state ballot measures. So locally, we had Measure M, which was going to be about the highway. That did not pass, about Highway 65, making it basically longer and stuff like that, less traffic congestion. Very surprised that didn't pass, actually, but the bonds for education in the district did pass, which is very odd. For some stuff in the state, though, the K-12 funding and community college funding passed with 54%. Medi-Cal passed with a whopping margin. Voter approval, which is like making sure that stuff is. I think it was the one that said it has to have voter approval if it's $2 billion or more in bonds.
The 72-hour online thing? Yeah.
And that actually didn't pass. I'm actually
Yeah,
surprised about that, being the
actually
fact
sad
that
about
we
that,
this state cares so much, want to raise taxes so much, and we didn't vote for that because I was going to raise taxes at the same time it is transparency in government. I was surprised they didn't pass that. Tax extension, which had to do with stuff for education and healthcare and stuff like that, and basically raise taxes on rich for that. That passed. Cigarette tax passed. I'm not sure how you voted on that, but I actually, my dad smokes, and I don't want him to smoke, but at the same time, raising it $2 a pack, I feel is just going to absolutely bring the black market out in tobacco. Like it has with drugs.
That's why honestly I voted no.
You voted no as well.
I voted no.
Yeah. And you know, I know a lot of people voted yes, and I can understand so, but that passed with 63%. I mean, I thought it would pass, honestly, but I didn't think it passed with that much of a margin.
Yeah, and to be honest with that, a lot of people, they're just going to stock up on cigarettes and not be affected by the $2 tax raise.
Yeah, it's only going to give more money to bureaucracy.
Yeah.
Right there. Also, another one, we have criminal sentencing, which has to do with nonviolent crimes, you know, stuff like that. That passed. The only problem with that is I was reading something up today, and you guys can do more research on this if you guys would like. But it passed with 63.6%, and one of the things it has to do with if you intoxicate a person and basically rape them, that is actually viewed now as a nonviolent crime. I looked that up today and I found that online. You guys can do more research on that. That's just one side I saw. If you guys prove me wrong, please let me know in the comments. But that is actually one thing I did find online today when I was researching it. It was I think it was it Attorney General said something about that? It was somebody high up in California who was saying something about that. We also have English proficiency that passed. They voted yes on that. I was like, you got to have English. You know, you got to have that in there. Now this one was interesting. Corporate spending that had to do with making an amendment to turn into the federal government about Citizens United. 52.3% people voted yes on that. That's actually very interesting. I'm really shocked about that. What do you think about that one?
You know, honestly, that was one I voted no on it.
Yeah.
You know, probably same reasons. I'm assuming you did as well.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
It's about the free speech, First Amendment, and stuff like that. The only thing that scares me is the fact that it is corporations, and they are, you know, I don't want to see them get in bed with government when it comes to terms with people and stuff like that.
See, I think they already have.
Yeah.
That's my problem. Is corporations are just as much as the government. It's just as much as the DNC and RNC. They run the government too.
Yeah.
So, I think that's probably why I got passed.
Yeah,
to be honest, I do think that.
Now, this one was just the funniest one on the ballot, honestly, in my opinion. The adult film.
Yes!
The fact that even got on the ballot.
That was a no, right? People,
no, it'll be a no. The fact that
who
porn
wants to
stars basically have to wear condoms. You know
who
what that
wants
is?
to pay $1 million in taxes for that?
I'm gonna tell you.
Come on.
I'm gonna tell you that's got to be an LA prop with people who are so far in like Christianity to the point where they don't want to see anything like that, and so they were just like, adult film. We want.
I know. I remember when my thing got mailed and I saw this, and I looked at my mom, and my dad, and I'm sitting on the couch, and I was like, "You've got to be kidding!"
Yeah.
I mean, who wants to spend $1 billion?
But it still got 46% of like vote yes on that. That shows you
who
like.
Wants to pay for that?
I don't know. That is what is so amazing. It actually only failed by $60,000. That's amazing.
That actually really is shocking.
Yeah.